You were born, I think, in South Carolina. You've been at the top now for 16, 17 years, but life wasn't always that sweet, was it, Eartha?
Well, being born on a cotton plantation in the South, and being poor, in that way, no, it was not very easy, because I remember times when we didn't have anything to eat for what seemed like an unsurmountable amount of time, and we had to rely on the forest and whatever we could dig out of the ground, such as weeds, or a kind of grass, I remember, that had a kind of onion growing at the bottom of it. And when we could find things like that to eat, then we were all right.
You were literally that poor?
Yes, we were.
I've got a quote here, with your permission. I'd like to read it. You said, my mother gave me away at the age of 5, and if my mother gives me away, she doesn't want me. So why should anybody want me?
Well, I think that when a mother gives a child away, according to the way I feel, as you are asking me that question, it is true. I have always lived with a feeling that if my mother gave me away, as I feel anyone would feel if one's mother gave you away, that means that the most important person in the world didn't want you. Whatever the reasons might have been, I think that there are many explanations I can make for my mother giving me away. And I think that even though I have tried to explain within myself as to why she gave me away, it's still very difficult for me to accept it.
Of course it is. With a sort of present background, with a background in your past, I mean, how do you view the people now that you're at the top and all the sort of fawning admirers? Do you sort of stay within yourself and look at them and think, would you really want to know me if I wasn't Eartha Kitt? Do you have this sort of reserve about meeting people?
Yes, I think because of a fear that you have, that whomever comes into your life, you're wondering if they really like you enough not to give you away, even after they get to know you.
Yes.
So you're constantly aware of the possibility of, even as a public, that one day they will give you away too.
Now then, we come to a very important date in your life. It's November the 26th, 1961, at 2 hours and 19 minutes past midnight, 7 pounds, 9 ounces in Los Angeles. A young lady by the name of Kit MacDonald came into the world, didn't she?
How do you think you would feel if your parents gave you up for adoption?
That must have been a great moment for you.
Yes, it was. As a matter of fact, it still is, because I feel very close to my child, and I don't think that there's anything in the world that is more important than fulfilling your position, not only as a person in the world, but you are a woman, and to fulfill that position as a woman, I feel that is when you really feel you have accomplished something. Particularly when I see this child and I'm with her all the time. I feel the importance of being a human being, and I feel the importance of being a woman. And I don't think that I have ever really appreciated myself as a human being until I got that child.
I've got a marvellous, another quote here. I don't know whether you remember saying this, but you said, I wish men could know the experience, the joy, and the pain and the agony, and then the glorious moment when you realize you're not just one person, but two. Is that what you're trying to say, really, which you've said somewhere?
Yes, but I think also that a man would be less apt to, well, for instance, create wars and things like that if he really had the experience of this marvelous feeling of born another human being. I think that he would be much more humane. I can understand that it is necessary in many cases to have wars, but when you have really shared the pains of a person borning a child, then you are more apt to be more aware of preserving that life rather than thinking in terms of destroying it.
Do you think that us men get it pretty easily, do you?
Yes, no matter how much you may say you do share the pain, I don't think you can really. I think that somebody should invent a machine so that as we are borning the children, you can have an attachment onto you so that you can automatically feel it. And then after the pain, no matter how traumatic the pains may be, the pleasure afterwards You see, I don't think there's any pain in the world that is really as gratifying, because you get a reward for it at the end. Therefore, it becomes a beautiful thing. But if you have to go through a pain that there is no reward for afterwards, then that becomes something else. It becomes something that you don't want to have the experience again.
Ladies, let me know in the comments if a machine like that actually existed. How do you think men would feel feeling the pain as you feel it?
To feel a child being born, it's the most marvelous, beautiful experience in the world. I feel really sorry for you men who don't have the experience.
Yes.
Then you would appreciate me as a woman even better.
Mm, mm. Well, as a mother, you've chosen a very hard business to live in, haven't you? To be a mother, I mean. It's very difficult to be a mother in show business.
Well, I know they say that it is very difficult to be a mother. I think that my mother-in-law was one of the first ones to say, how could you possibly, go through the aggravation, because to her it was an aggravation to carry my child around the world with me. As a matter of fact, this is one of the first times I've ever been without my child. And I didn't think of it in terms of being problematical. I thought that as a person, as a mother, whatever my life was or is, that I am a mother first of all, and that whatever I have to go through, then I also have the responsibility of taking care of my child. Therefore, for me to be a mother in show business may look difficult to someone else who's looking on, but I've found ways to share show business and be in show business and still be the kind of mother I would like to be.
Mm.
And I think it's, to me, I keep thinking I should write a book about it, because from the time my child was 3 months old, when the doctor said, all right, now she's strong enough, she's 3 months old, if anything was to happen, she's now 3 months old, she's old enough to be able to ward off any, disease, unless she's a weak child, and she happened to have been, and is a strong child, thank God. So therefore, after 3 months, she was able to ward off any kind of illnesses that she might have contracted. But I don't think that any time in my life I've ever felt that it was a problem to have my child with me all the time, to feel the growing of the child, to feel the personality of the child, to feel the child that now that she's 9 years old, to feel that I really know that child, to really feel that no matter what happens, she and I have an affinity with each other, a contact with each other, that no matter what happens, we can sit down and talk about it and we can understand each other because we know each other, we are growing up with each other, rather than a person, a mother or a father who says, well, I've born you, now I leave you to the nanny to take care of because I've got to go off and make money. Yeah. I think money is necessary, but it will never take the place of the feeling that you can have from the human being that you've brought into this world, that you are growing up with. You must stay with the child.
Finally, I know that the colour question is a far bigger question in America than it is in this country, but how did it affect you?
I think of myself as being a person who belongs to everybody, but I think one should always feel this way. I think that as long as you are feeling in terms of belonging only to one race, one nationality, and one religion, that you have to be prejudiced. And therefore, since I have always, according to where I was born and how I was born, I am an illegitimate child, and at the same time, I was not of completely black parentage. My father was supposedly a Caucasian, and my grandparents are Cherokee Indians. My mother was half black and all of this, and therefore my blood is of yours and of anybody's, and therefore I've always thought of myself as this. And to be prejudiced against any of the other bloods is rather silly to me. Even if I was born absolutely black, I think that I would still feel the same way, because particularly since I have been in a position to do a lot of traveling and to see the trials and tribulations of races against races around the world, I don't think that it's healthy naturally, and I think that religion is somewhat guilty of this, and economics mainly is the most positive thing that I can think of that causes racial prejudices and also religious prejudices. But no matter what I read about the one harassment against the other one, I see where money is constantly involved.
Yes.
So I think that when we are able to recognize that no matter what the color or religion you belong to, that you are capable of gaining as much as the next person can, no matter what race or religion he belongs to, I think the situation will be much healthier.
Eartha, you're a citizen of the world. You really are. and I'm about to make you a citizen of Wales because we have a slight surprise under our sleeves, haven't we? For everyone at home, as it happens, Earth has been very busy this week, you see? Yes. Shall we go over there, Earth? Earth has been very busy this week learning a Welsh song.
Well, let's say trying to.
And I'm going to prove what an utter swine I am by giving you the microphone and leaving you all on your little own.
Goodbye. I hope you want me when I leave. Mijn Harriet in Venus, mijn Harriet in wijn, mijn Harriet in de lesach, na bloed hij drain. Fin Harriet Jorwena, Arlana Nasir, niet de conmol Ariaduif, on de dwedi dagui.
Eartha, thank you very much indeed. Mein Harriet in Venus has never sounded like that ever in the world.
Achidai.
Yechidao. Eartha, thank you very much indeed, love. Thank you for coming on Let's Go and learning especially that little Welsh song. Were you very nervous about it?
Yes.
No, you were marvellous.
This video raises questions, and I need for you to be extremely honest in the comments when answering them. And just so you know, I have 3 questions. Number 1, what are your thoughts about Eartha Kitt, the musician? Number 2, what are your thoughts about Eartha Kitt, the mother? And number 3, how did you feel being a parent for the first time? Or how do you think you'd feel? Now, please be honest in the comments when answering these questions. Share this video with anyone you deem necessary. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.